Scott Welch, Muscle Insider Magazine, with Ron Harris of Muscular Development Magazine. How are you doing today, Ron?
I'm doing great, Scott. How about you?
Great. Classic physique predictions. We're going to go through those today and get the lineup. But first of all, I want to start off by just getting the list here.
Yep.
And I did this especially for you. We've got, this is the history of the class itself. So 2018, Bryan Ansley wins it. Then 2019, the deceased George Peterson, Alex Cambronero in 2020, and 2021, Terrence Ruffin. So this is only going to be the fifth time this contest has taken place.
Right. Yeah. Well, the division didn't begin in the IFBB Pro ranks till 2017, so they only missed 1 year.
Absolutely. Okay, so now going through it, when we look at the lineup, Bryan Ansley, Michael Dabiel, Urs Kalzinski, which we're going to get into a lot, one of our top picks, Peter Muller, we got Terrence Ruffin, Ramon Roca Quiros. Is that how you spell it? You pronounce
it? Everybody calls him Ramon Dino, like dinosaur.
Okay, Ramon Dino. Yeah. We've got Darwin Uribe, Lenny Wicks, and Divine Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting off here with Divine Wilson, what can you tell me a bit about him? I mean, understand here, 12th place at the Olympia in 2021. Pittsburgh Pro, he was first, and the Olympia was 8th. So from 2020, his Olympia was 8th place, and he went down a few placings to 12th the year following. So what are you thinking about with Divine?
Divine has great structure, shape, size. His condition is just not consistent. I've seen him some shows much, much tighter. Other shows, I think it was his last Olympia. Was that the one he took 12th at?
Yes.
He walked out there, and immediately I said, "Uh-oh, he's not going to be in the running. He's not going to be first call out. Might not even be second call out." Yeah, I mean, I hope he's nailed it down, because what a beautiful physique this guy has.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to be this division, because they have a weight cap. They tend to come in shredded more often than not. You don't see these guys in classic at this level, especially, coming in off. So if they're even 5%, 10% off, that can relegate them way down the line. So we'll see what he shows up looking like.
Okay, and this guy is interesting. Lenny Wicks turned pro at the let's see here. We got turned pro the North Americans in 2019. Took a year off, and then 2019 North Americans. He was second, which actually in that class, I guess, gave him a pro card. I think it was top 3.
Yeah.
And then he did the Ben Weider Naturals in 2021, and that allowed him to qualify to compete in the Olympia by winning that. And that was a drug-tested show. So definitely a phenomenal physique for natural. This is just outstanding, and definitely good to see a wide assortment of athletes on stage at this show. What are your thoughts on Lenny Wicks?
Lenny looks phenomenal for a drug-free competitor. Unfortunately, this is not a drug-tested event. So, the picture you're showing right now, the side try, people would say, wow, this guy's huge. But I guarantee you, when he stands next to some of these other guys, he's not going to look as impressive in terms of size. I'm sure his shape and structure are going to be there. Size-wise, I've seen what he looks like. It's a beautiful physique. It's just needs to be bigger and fuller if he wants to try to be beating these guys that we're going to be talking about. These guys are no joke, and they do have a weight cap, so they're not as large as the open bodybuilders. But make no mistake, these guys have some serious muscle mass. Some of the guys we're going to be talking about could very easily transition to open bodybuilding if they decided to, and just added another 10 to 20 more pounds of mass.
Yeah. Okay, and then Darwin Uribe from Colombia.
Yeah. Now living in Texas. So I saw him when, it was either Indy or Chicago. It was one of the earlier shows in
Chicago Pro. He was first in 2021.
Okay. So yeah, that's the first I'd ever heard of the guy. Beautiful physique. He reminded me in a lot of poses like Frank Zane, the 3-time Mr. Olympia from the late 70s. just a tremendous symmetry, shape. I think size is going to be an issue for him as well. He's not a huge, thickly muscled guy. And I know that's not supposed to be the dominant criteria for classic, but you have to have a certain amount of size too. If you're up against somebody that's got that beautiful shape and symmetry and they're bigger than you, they're probably going to beat you. So I'd be interested to see it. He's had a few months. I haven't been following his social media. If he's added a little bit more size and fullness, he'll do better. But based on what I saw last year, he's going to have a tough time with some of these guys like Ramon and Urs and Bryan and Terrence. But yeah, he looked great when I saw him win that show. I'll tell you that.
Turned pro in 2019 at the Mr. Olympia Amateur in Portugal. And then obviously Olympia, we talked about Chicago Pro, and then 2021, he was 16th in the Olympia. So definitely this will be a big show for him. If he can place well in this will really put him on the map here with the North American fans. Okay. Ramon, you said Ramon, is this Dino?
Yeah, they call him Ramon Dino.
Okay, Ramon Dino, Roca Quirez.
Yeah.
We had here these Europa Pro is second in 2021. Olympia, he was fifth. 2021 Muscle Contest Brazil, he was first. Yeah. And 2018 is when he won the overall at the Mr. Olympia Amateur in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I think this is going to be a battle between Terrence Ruffin and Bryan Ansley, I would not be overly shocked to see this guy pushing both of them very hard. Some media outlets even have him possibly winning this show.
Wow. And
stranger things have happened. He's not missing anything. He's a big guy with a small waist, small joints, beautiful shape. Some of the muscle groups, his chest, his arms, his shoulders, just spectacular. He doesn't really have any weak points. And boy, I know the fan base doesn't count for judging, but let me tell you, these Brazilian fans, they are very supportive. I thought the Middle Eastern fans were the best. No, they're good. Brazilian fans are better. These people were losing their larynxes screaming. So I don't see him doing worse than fourth at the very worst. But if he shows up with some crazy conditioning, anything could happen. I wouldn't write this guy off as a potential winner for the show.
Outstanding. Okay. And then Terrence Ruffin.
Yeah.
Rough Diesel, I think, is his social handle.
Yeah.
We've got him as first to winning the show.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. For the last 2 years, the only people who have beaten this man are Chris Bumstead. So, and people, there are arguments that were made at the last Olympia. Some people like his physique better than Bumstead. Some people think that Terrence embodies the classic ideals more so than Bumstead does. So we don't have Bumstead to worry about at this show, of course. But, like Brandon Curry in the Open, the only person that's been beating him for the past couple of years is the champion of the world, Rami. Yeah. Only guy that's been beating Terrence is the world champion, Chris Bumstead. So all he has to do, he had, like a lot of these guys, there's so many stories you've been hearing. They got COVID, beginning of the prep of that. He did come down with COVID, I believe, a couple months ago. He's fully recovered. I was worried for a little bit looking at him. I was thinking, man, he looks like he's behind. But, I've said that in the past with him. His progress pictures aren't always the most astonishing. He's one of those guys that his pictures sort of under-promise and then he over-delivers at the show, which is the opposite of what you see most often, where people post these crazy update pictures from this one corner of their gym or this one little spot in their kitchen where the lighting is just perfect and they look ungodly. But man, Ruffin has just got a beautiful, beautiful physique. And of course, presentation, one of the best posers in the entire sport. If not, some people would argue he's the best out there right now in any division.
Fascinating. Okay, Peter Molnar from Hungary. I think he had a huge career in the IFBB elite stream and then switched over, but did so later in his career, which may have hurt him. But I think Chris Aceto is training him, so I definitely think he's going to be in shape. What are your thoughts on Peter Molnar?
Yeah, Peter, I was interested to see him because I've seen him a couple of times now, but I've been hearing about him for a long time before that.
Yeah.
Very impressed with a lot of his shots. His lower body does not match the upper. It's not like it's weak. It's it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Certain shots, I think like the side shots, his hamstrings are on the flat side because he has these tremendous shoulders and arms. And when you hit a side tricep and they seem to be bigger than your hamstrings, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make that the main focal point. But like I said, this is going to be a very, very tough show. We have the entire top 5 of the Olympia minus Chris Bumstead in this Arnold Classic. So I think it's going to be tough for him with some of these people that we're talking about. But I don't see him. I see like a 5th or 6th place being very, very possible for him.
Okay. Urs Kelsinski. So interesting background here. His father was an Olympic weightlifting champion. His mother was a pro ballerina.
Yeah.
And I believe he was a professional downhill skier, like world-class competitor. Just fascinating ability to do incredible social media work. Just one of those guys. I think he debuted at Tampa, I think is where he kind of made his mark in North America, winning that show out of nowhere. And then, obviously people were talking about his height and his structure, and obviously comparing him to the other blonde-haired Chris Bumstead. Yeah. He himself knows, Urs knows that he has a bit of development yet to go to get to the level of Bumstead. But what really blew me away is this guy's ability to pose is unlike anyone I've ever seen. He turns even comparisons into like a posing routine. He transitions from one to the next, to the next, to the next on the quarter turns. And it's just unbelievable to see how well he carries himself. He's just, it truly is an art for this guy. I think he's going to be a huge name. I don't think he'll beat Bumstead this year. I don't think he's at that level yet. Yeah. But I think that this guy has a huge future in men's classic.
Yeah, they call him the Miracle Bear.
Yes, that's right.
And he actually has a background. I'm not sure that he was a skier. I did an article on him. We did an interview. And I know he was a break dancer for a while.
Breakdance also. And
his mother, as you said, was a pro ballerina. She's his posing coach. So that's why his transitions are so flowing. And, most guys, there are a lot of guys that sort of just shuffle from one pose to the other. It's kind of awkward to watch, but he flows and he puts the dance moves into his routine. He's got this 1,000-watt smile. He looks so happy to be there. The thing that's exciting about Urs is, as of last Olympia, he was still 12 pounds or so under the limit for his height. So that means he has another 12 pounds to add, which he really just needs it in the upper body. His legs are very good. Fill out that upper body, get those arms bigger, fuller back, fuller chest, the whole upper body. Just get a little fuller and thicker because the shape and structure on this guy are beautiful. And yeah, like I said, people comparing him to Bumstead because structurally and height-wise, they're similar. Urs is almost 6 foot. So, yeah, he's, I think, solid 3rd place. That's where I have him.
Yeah, we have him 3rd as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's copying Dorian. He's doing the shadow approach where he's not letting any physique photos show, whereas everybody else is doing progress photos along the way. And we saw a skull picture with the skull face. That was one of the few pictures he did. So definitely very excited from Germany. Very excited to see him back in the United States, and at the Arnold Classic. It would be phenomenal to see where he places. I think it's going to be tough to beat the front 2 runners, but anything can happen.
Yeah, he's 24 years old. He was I think he was only 23 when he won Chicago Pro, but so much potential. That's the most exciting thing about Urs is his potential, I would say.
Absolutely. Okay, now we've got Michael Dabiel.
Dabiel, yeah.
Dabiel. Yeah. What have you got on him? I've got 2021 Arnold Classic UK Pro 1st place.
Yeah.
2021 Tsunami Cup Pro 2nd place. 2020 Romania Muscle Fest, he was 10th. British Grand Prix in 2020, he was 3rd. So definitely turned pro, I guess, Ben Weider Classic, I think. Okay. So definitely done a number of shows, but for us, we don't see him in the top 5, obviously, from on the muscle and center side.
Yeah, I agree. It's really just an issue of a couple of things. Structurally, he's not the widest guy. The picture you pulled up, you can see the muscle quality and density are incredible.
Yeah.
This guy's got so much detail, such deep separation. I love seeing that. So, props to him. But compared to some of these guys, his clavicles they're not as wide. He doesn't have that exaggerated V taper that we're seeing with some of these other men. Overall size, I'm not sure what his height and weight are, but he doesn't look as big as some of these guys. And again, I got to go back and say that's not what classic's supposed to be about, but it is a factor. This is still bodybuilding. We call it classic physique, but make no mistake, it's still bodybuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bryan Ansley. What can't be said about this guy? First or second? We've got him, I believe, in second.
Yeah. He's 42 years old. I'm 52. So, of course, I'm rooting for the old guy in the lineup. He doesn't look 40. He doesn't have one wrinkle on his face. But I'd love to see him put it together and win this. And, I love comebacks. I love underdogs. Who doesn't? So I'm rooting for this guy. I just don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to shake out. It's going to come down. Did Terrence fully recover enough so he's going to look as good as he did at the Olympia? I don't know. And Bryan's trying his best. He was a two-time Olympia champion for a reason. So if he can bring, I talk to him every now and then. He still doesn't feel he's ever brought his best to a pro stage. In terms of even condition, he doesn't think he's ever been 100% condition that he's capable of. And I've seen this guy shredded out of his mind. So I kind of like to take a step back when he says that and says, I don't know how much more ripped you think you're going to be than that, Bryan, but he's very confident. He works with, he's got a dietitian, a guy he works with his diet, Brandon Gertis, and everything else is Chris Cormier, the legend, is his mentor and guiding him through all this, his coach. So yeah, second place. I mean, based on what I saw at the last Olympia, if they both look very close to that, I would have Terrence beating him again. But we'll see. We'll see.
So our final tally for us at Muscle Insider, Terrence Ruffin first, Bryan Ansley second, and third would be Urs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Ramon could be one of the surprises. That's the guy I think has the most potential to jump up here. But we'll see. He needs to bring the condition. I thought his condition was very good at the Olympia. It could have been better. He's got everything else going for him. He's another one that's young and he's just starting out. So exciting show, man. Exciting show. What a lineup. I wish Chris would have done this too. But, wow.
Absolutely. Okay, well, listen, this is Scott Welch from Muscle Insider. Check out the contest coverage at musculardevelopment.com to see what Ron Harris and his team are doing, and obviously at muscleinsider.com to see what we're doing. Thanks so much for taking the time for us today, Ron.
You're very welcome, Scott. I'll see you in Ohio.